As we approach the end of the World War I commemoration period, Gheluvelt Park, as part of the Centenary Fields programme, August the 8th marked the 100th anniversary of the Allies' 100 Days Offensive, which started with the Battle of Amiens. 100 years ago, the Royal British Legion will be asking people to say thank you to the World War I generation that fought the war and rebuilt our world. Fields Entrust's contribution to the Thank You campaign is to feature one of our centenary fields each day from August the 8th until November the 11th, adding a new centenary field each day, as well as using social media channels. Our day, which is October the 31st, we can join in by expressing our association's gratitude for those who fought and also those who played their part at home, not forgetting the 104th anniversary of the Battle of Gheluvelt. Commemoration for end of World War I. World War I started in August 1914 as the immediate outcome of the Jew murder of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. This clash of Serbian nationalism with Austro-Hungarian imperialism triggered the mutual alliance systems of the great powers, Russia, France, Germany and Great Britain, and the resulting war did not end until November 1918, with more than 17 million dead and 23 million injured, the deadliest conflict in human history until World War II. The total number of names recorded on the Worcestershire Regimental Roll of Honour is 9,444, including 526 officers. This total includes about 150 who died while serving at home with the reserve battalions, and about 200 who died of disease in Macedonia and Iraq, etc. The remainder were all killed in action or mortally wounded while serving with one or other of the regiment's 12 fighting battalions. We ask that all remember the soldiers of the battalions of the Worcestershire Regiment who served their country during the Great War, 1914 to 1919, serving in Europe, France, Belgium, Germany, the Middle East, Mesopotamia, now Iraq, Persia, now Iran, Syria, the Ottoman Empire, which is Turkey, Gallipoli, Italy, Africa and Russia. We remember those who were killed in action or endured life-changing injuries from amputations, blindness, gas attacks, shell shock, from incessant artillery bombardment, and those who were shot by firing squad. We also remember the millions of civilians, of men and women and children who suffered. World War I, the Great War, is usually remembered as mainly a soldiers' conflict, with 6 million men mobilised to fight overseas, and the number of military casualties very high compared to those of civilians. But nevertheless, the Zeppelin raids on London in April 1915 did have the effect of drawing everybody into the war, and as it progressed, the entire nation's population and resources were harnessed to the war effort in one way or another, so most people came to feel involved in the conflict. As well as the existing first aid nursing yeomanry, Fanny, women who drove ambulances in Belgium and France and Belgium, many women volunteered for the Voluntary Aid Detachments, the VAD, as civilians providing nursing care for military wounded, and in 1917 the Women's Auxiliary Army Corps, WAC, began recruiting women to perform certain administrative duties and so release men for the frontline units. Civilians working in a factory making uniforms, guns, ammunition, tanks or ships had every right to feel they were contributing to as much to the war effort as a man with a gun. So too had dockers and miners. Families with men at the front certainly felt part of the war, whilst clergymen comforted the bereaved. Then, when food rationing was introduced in January 1918, following the German submarine blockade of 1917, previously involved housewives, as they eked out their modest supplies of sugar and meat, the first two items to be rationed. Could also feel they had a part to play by this time. The whole of Britain effectively was home front, and the citizens collectively were the soldiers on that front. When major hostilities between the Allied and Central Powers ceased, The combatants then began to negotiate peace, and in June 28, 1919, signed the Treaty of Versailles, officially ending the war.